Thank you, madam. And I'm really privileged to have our mentors of mentors, Dr. Chandravati madam with us, and she has taken all the long journey despite she is not that well. Thank you, Chairperson, Dr. Basu, Dr. Appa, Dr. Sanjeevani and Preeti. So, this is actually one of the it is one of the emotional moment today for us, because North India Gynae Forum was framed around 11.5 months ago, and in the short span of 11 months we have come a long way. Today, welcome warmly with all the faculties and the dear friends from all the 7 states of North India who are together, and it is a very, very strong beginning and the foundation of the future. We look forward to great associations of all 7 states and the 2 union territories of OB-GYN for all generation of OB-GYN. So with this gratitude for being together, I will be coming. Dr. Umesh Jandal have taken the genetics, and the second is the genome of the microbiotic community. At the outset, at the same time, I seek everybody's blessings, guidance, well wishes, and the full-hearted support for my forthcoming FOXI presidential election, because I have been evolved out of you. Up mentors, teachers, seniors, दोस्त, juniors, आप सब ने हम सबको बनाया है, और this is the time that you choose the people from your side, choose the people who has been committed, has done the tremendous work at all level of the federation, and this is the time that we make the change what we wish to change. So all gratitude for everything, for this historical movement that is NIGF which has been formed, and I will come into the second secret of this humanity, that is the human microbiome that actually makes the blueprint of our health. What are the microbiome? They are defined as the genomic content of the microbial community. So don't think that human are superhuman, we are the first in the gene. Actually the nature makes every virus and every bacteria that powerful. And human microbiome is considered to contribute to our blueprint of health and disease over the lifetime, and it is the other human genome, it is our neighborhood, it is our coexistent who is thriving with us. Extremely and extraordinarily diverse population of the microbiomes is there, and when there is a breach in this they are our friends. When there is a breach, when there is a disharmony, it leads to disease in many situations, and whenever there is a microbial dysbiosis and invasion of pathogen, it can lead to disease, minor disease to the life-threatening disease. So that is the power of visible is invisible is like we are all manifestation of God, but we cannot see the God, and it is the same with the microbial system and how it coexists with this. So we know that the microbial gene in the human gut alone is the 3.3 million, and around 9 to 10% is in the female urogenital system. So with the understanding of microbiome, so there have been 2 landmark project in the last 10 years, that is the Human Genome Project and the Human Microbiome Project, and with this the concept of prebiotic come. So the prebiotic is the food element, what we ingest into the food, but they beneficially affect the host by stimulating the growth or activity of limited number of good bacteria. So all food which limit hydrolysis, stimulate good bacteria, immunostimulant, and the stimulation of bacterial flora, that is prebiotic. So prebiotic is our food product, like we, especially in Indian food, we take curd, we take yeast in the many preparation, and that has got a what Madam Dr. S.N. Basu says, that is our old Indian ancient thing which they were right, and our understanding in India as the prebiotic is a very important, just we are looking the things in a different way. So what are the probiotic, which are the live microorganisms? So the prebiotic are the food and the probiotic are the live microorganisms, and when we administer in adequate amount, they produce beneficial effect to host when they taken orally. What can be the ideal probiotic? It should be safe, not producing any toxic effect, resistant to hydrochloric acid in stomach, anti-carcinogenic, producing lactic acid, retain viability during storage and use in the shelf life, stimulating for the immune system and ability to colonize the GIT. So that probiotic, if it has so much quality, it is going to help us. How do they work? They prevent intestinal adhesion, improving immunity, reducing cholesterol, production of antimicrobial system, interfere in cancer prevention, favorable effect in liver illness, prevent alimentary allergy, and they deliver vitamins as well for the organism. So what are the challenges which we are facing today? That is the malignancy, that is a non-communicable disease, that is a metabolic disorder, and by the way the probiotic will work in our system is going to help in a big way in the tomorrow's science. So we will be focusing a lot of things, bacteria, fungi, history, which can be the probiotic. Today we will be more focusing on lactobacillus because we know them more up to now in our system. So in reproductive tract, what as a OB-GYN wife, it should interest us because the urogenital tract microbiome makes up 9% of the total human microbiome. And now when a baby delivers from the female vagina during delivery and maybe in the cesarean section, from that time the mother's vagina and the womb and the fecal and the skin microbe, the infant system microbiome develop, and that's why we are all going, Western world have gone a long way, like they have like stopped all the natural thing, but we are going again back for the vaginal delivery, for the breast milk stimulation, because they, beside the other benefit, they also produce make the microbiome of the neonate. So vaginal ecosystem right from the neonatal and in the adulthood, what is the dynamic equilibrium? It is epithelium, normal colonizing organ, late secretory and cellular immune factor, and vaginal pH in an adult woman is made at 3.8 to 4.2. So we know from the basic teaching that it is a lactobacilli dominant microbia, which is important for a good microbiome system, and just we are looking in a different way in the today's scenario because we have identified many lactobacilli and which is effective in our race and the ethnicity. So it is a Lactaceous rhamnosus and the Lactus reuteri which is coming in a big way. So whenever there is a dysbiosis, like it is a something in a community, in a professional body, जब आपके दोस्त लोग हैं, आप उस समय बहुत क्रिएटिव काम करते हैं, आप बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज काम करते हैं, यू फील गुड. व्हेन यू हैव ए डिसबाइसेस, यू हैव ए डिफरेंट थिंग, द पीपल हु आर नॉट डूइंग द गुड थिंग, देन द थिंग्स गेटिंग फ्रेगमेंटेड. सो इट इज द वजाइनल डिसबाइसेस, दे आर देयर, बट देयर इज ए डिसबैलेंस एंड वी डोंट हैव ए गुड बैक्टीरिया, बट वी हैव मोर बैड बैक्टीरिया, एंड दैट कॉज ओवरग्रोथ ऑफ anaerobic bacteria and a non-infectious disease. And whenever there is a vaginal dysbiosis, the woman is having bacterial vaginosis, vulvovaginal candidiasis, and the UTI. And when there is a vaginal dysbiosis, in many situations, like she is having diabetes or she is having pregnancy, it can disturb the reproductive health. So it is a lactobacilli causing vaginal acidic pH. But the second important thing is in the woman, the menstrual, all over the cycle of women, there is up and low. That's why the women are considered moody. Male do not actually find out why this is happening to my girlfriend or wife or sister or mother, because there is a hormonal variation. So menstrual cycle cause alkalinization, the menopause and the early childhood cause the low estrogen level, and whenever there is a low estrogen level, there is a decrease in lactobacilli which is present in the vaginal tract. So these are the things which we have to understand, because a lot of children also come to you, that the child coming with the vaginal discharge, child coming with the itching, and we have to think that it is a vaginal dysbiosis which might be the cause for this vulvovaginitis in the children or in the postmenopausal. Pregnancy is a different situation when there is a lot of acidic pH, but we have a lot of candidiasis as well the bacterial vaginosis. Besides this, smoking is something which always disturbs the dysbiosis, and we like having a lot of bacterial vaginosis and the aerobic vaginitis in the reproductive age. Now the Indian population, why our OB-GYN are so important and doctors so important to the world? Because we are catering the largest population in the world, and the incidence is around 17% to the 63% for the bacterial vaginosis, recurrent UTI 1 out of the 3 women. So we all deal as a OB-GYN for all bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, UTI, and can the probiotic make a difference? So what are the common causative organisms? Usually we don't want to understand as a clinician, but we must have a good microbiological base for everything. So UTI, it is E. coli followed by Klebsiella, candidiasis, Candida albicans, and then species, and bacterial vaginosis all about uroplasma and the microbacteria. So what we usually treat, it is a miconazole, clotimazole, tecanazole. Bacterial vaginosis we use clindamycin, matronazole, and this is our standard treatment. So where the probiotics come into it? So antibiotic is the something which is having a backlash to us, like cesarean section and everything, that we are creating a lot of antibiotic resistance, and we are not having always, we are having the recurrent UTI and the recurrent vaginitis. And can probiotic, by balancing the microbiome dysbiosis, can be a very important armamentarium in management? This is the question ahead, and we must use our this knowledge to the benefit of our patient. So probiotic are a very potential and encouraging treatment for all microbial dysbiosis, and when we use lactobacilli, it causes acidic pH, it maintains the good microorganism, and it prevents the recurrence. So how probiotic work into the vagina, that is the block colonization of vaginal pathogen, contribute to indirect pathogenic inhibition. They produce H2O2, they produce immunomodulatory mechanism, and of course the reduction of the pH, the pH. So it is a Foxy and Ashray recommendation 2019-2020 that the probiotic can reduce the symptom of vaginal infection and are useful in treatment and prevention of bacterial vaginosis and candidiasis. So bacterial vaginosis is one of the non-sexually transmitted infection, very common, and it is important for, we all know the standard diagnostic criteria, treatment criteria. Just I want to say that the antibiotic, why it is a microbial dysbiosis. So when we give antibiotic only for the bacterial vaginosis, they reduce the pathogenic flora, but also reduce the normal commensal, that is the lactoacid bacilli, and that's why the woman is having recurrence. So probiotic in bacterial vaginosis management is very important way to consider, and it consolidates the efficacy of antibiotic and prevent recurrence, and besides they may gradually colonize the vaginal flora through competing. So we are having a persistent effect for having a good microbiome, and given all first line therapy may also be considered for the bacterial vaginosis. So what is the difference between antibiotic and probiotic? Antibiotic damage commensal flora, can increase occurrence of resistant bacteria, can have adverse effect, and probiotic can be used because they don't damage the commensal flora. An important thing as a maternal child health, like my 30 years journey in the professional body and personal profession for the maternal child health, which is the key health priority for us. Can probiotic play a role in averting adverse obstetrical outcome? Yes, they can, because the first is the preterm labor, because infection and infestation are the one most important cause in our country for preterm labor. And if we supplement the probiotic and the treat bacterial vaginosis well, it can really help in the prevention of the preterm birth. And many new studies shows this, that they can be effective. Likewise, the preeclampsia, we have like 10 to 15%, it is one of the emerging cause for the maternal morbidity and mortality. And now one of the etiopathogenesis of the preeclampsia is considered alteration of polymicrobial community. So this is a thought and the thing for the research for all the like the people who are working in the esteemed teaching institution and the research minding. In the vulvovaginal candidiasis, when it is like a lower vaginal pH, so we all know, I am not going to detail, I have to have the limit to the time. Important thing is that we have the conventional treatment and we know what is causing what, but for the recurrent UTI and recurrent vulvovaginitis, the addition of probiotic is a very pertinent consideration, because it is affecting naturally and it is maintaining the healthy microbiome flora into the vagina and the urogenital system. So where the probiotic in urogenital system, add-on therapy for bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, maintenance of healthy flora, good obstetrical outcome, and restoration of vaginal flora after local or oral antibiotic therapy. Not going into detail, just putting few papers that how the probiotic lactobacilli restore normal vaginal flora. We have a very high powered study. Oral probiotic can resolve urogenital infection, especially Lactobacillus rhamnosus and the uteri. And this is just because today is the evidence world, so I am going fast, but a very strong, and the new study shows that the probiotic can be very useful, and they prevent the recurrence, they prevent the infection, and they give the good treatment outcome when we add on the probiotic. So these are the all new studies which we are going ahead, and that makes our confidence, because today world is of the the evidence, and always the evidence from the research paper and our experience, that makes the thing the way for the medicine. Finally, it is a infection where we treating. It is the disease which we are treating. Can we do it as use it as a prophylactic measurement? So we have a lot of infertility and IV specialists over there, and this is a new thought that a abnormal vaginal microbiota, abnormal endometrial microbiota, and the fallopian tube can cause the implantation failure, less quality of the follicle, as well as the early pregnancy loss. So microbiota and its metabolite might associated with every step of the in vitro assisted reproductive technology, including from gamete formation, implantation, and the delivery. So this is all physiology, that the blastocysts depend on the anaerobic glycolysis, and when we have the lactate rich microenvironment, blastocyst is supposed to enable local endometrial breakdown, facilitate invasion, and modulate the local immune response. So we used to think that the endometrium was sterile, but now the study says endometrial cavity is also not sterile, and this is a pertinent thing that we use. And actually I have started using probiotic in the preparatory when we do the down regulation, at that time probiotic, and that really makes the difference. So these are the few. I will be finishing 1 or 2 minutes. I think I have keep the time. So chronic endometritis is the thing we as a obstetrician of the gynecologists and infertility people in India, we are really troubled with. Always fluid collection, always you have a thin endometrium, and chronic endometriosis cultures are negative. So the use of the probiotic can be helpful in dealing with this, because what I say that the endometrium also have the microbiome, and if there is a lactobacillus dominant endometrium, it is more receptive than endometrium with high bacterial diversity and low proportion of lactobacilli. So as a prophylactic, improving the result of IVF, reducing the risk of pregnancy loss, we have a potential that the probiotic can add to our success rate, continuation of the good pregnancy, and these are all this very interesting paper, recurrent pregnancy loss associated with leaky gut, and a novel pathogenic model for the endometrium inflammation. So what were Indian people like say, what we eat, we become. So it is a leaky gut and the bad diet which leads to the gut dysbiosis can alter the outcome in the reproduction and infertility also. One question for clinician, when we are using probiotic, it should be oral or vaginal. So the important thing is the oral administration is more effective against bacterial vaginosis and less aggressive for established microbiota, and from the gut and from the perineum, the microbiome go from the perineum to the vagina, and this is a very lovely picture that how from the rectum and anal canal the microorganisms go directly to the vagina and cause the colony of the healthy bacteria. So we are thankful Acumentis division for hosting this first NIGF. Not only the first NIGF Academia Week, but also they are launching today this V Flora, which will be adding to us for our clinical practice at wide, diverse platform, right from infertility to obstetric practice to the adolescent and the postmenopausal women. And it is the Lactobacillus rhamnosus and Lactobacillus reuteri, which are found very, very effective to colonize vagina and potentially restore the urogenital flora. So the key takeaway after genetics, it has been automatically in the right context that we must know the millions and trillions of microorganisms which are harboring us. Around 9 to 13% are urovaginal microbiome, and only giving antibiotic might not help us, and there are a certain role adjuvant, prophylactic and the post-antibiotic management which can improve the patient's symptomology. They can improve obstetrical outcome as well as the other issues related in the sexually active and the postmenopausal. So finally we say it is time to consider. COVID tha to jab, like COVID is our enemy, but COVID has given us a lot of things, not only virtual program, a thought about life, thought about death, which is very much around us. So it is time to consider microorganisms not only as enemies, but also as allies in the reproductive medicine as well life, because everyone is friend in this universe. And with this emotion and commitment, I am contesting for the post of Oxy President as well, because everyone is friend in this universe, because every situation brings best out of you. So thank you very much. So world is not complex, it is simple, and it needs only simple and committed people to make the change. And you are the people, like you are our mentors, teachers, senior, who can join together for make a change. Thank you very much. Thank you.